Greetings, welcome to Old Nerd Reads his Marvel Comics in Order. This is episode 39. This time I read Marvel Presents Guardians of the Galaxy, number 5. This is the third issue of Guardians of the Galaxy in Marvel Presents, I believe. And this time it's a little side quest, I guess. A little side quest onto the planet of the absurd. So what happened? Howard Chaykin works with Al Milgrom on this. I can't really see the Howard Chaykin in the artwork in this issue, but apparently him and Al Milgrom did the art. Written by Steve Gerber, who's a really fun writer. I'm beginning to find reading these Guardians of the Galaxy issues. I never read much Steve Gerber. He wrote a couple of Marvel 2-in-1s that I did episodes on a little bit ago, and they were fun too. So I need to look into some more Steve Gerber because he does a fine job as a writer. But Al Milgrom, who I never really cared for, now that I'm older, I'm starting to appreciate him more. But like I said, I don't see the Howard Chaykin in this artwork. But anyway, Planet of the Absurd. A little side quest. So the Guardians of the Galaxy left Earth of 3,000 whatever after defeating the Badoon, and they're heading off into space to face some intergalactic threats. And the first one they run into basically ruins their spaceship. So this character, what the heck is his name? He can survive in the vacuum of space and extreme temperatures. He's from Pluto, so he can survive the harshness of space. But he has to send the other four. He has to teleport them down to a planet that's nearby because the ship is in really bad shape. The life support system's gone. They can't stay there. They have to go. But he can stay and repair the ship. So he teleports them down to this planet, and they're picked up by one of the inhabitants. It looks kind of like a Wookiee from Star Wars, and takes them to this crime lord's lair. And the planet looks suspiciously like New York City of the time. The Guardians defeat these crime lords pretty handily. Grab the leader and bust out and realize that they are in the New York of the New York of Vance Astro's time. Vance Astro is the character who came from our time, but he's encapsulated in this skin tight suit that holds him together. Basically, if he takes off his suit, he'll crumble into dust because he's like over 1,000 years old. This character, Vance Astro. So they're in this. They're on this planet that looks basically just like New York City of the 1970s, 1980, I think it says. But each character kind of goes off on his little side quest. Vance Astro and Yondu go off to find a part that Martinex up on their spaceship needs to fix the spaceship. They need a transistor, and goes into this hobby shop, and they don't have any money, so they trade one of Yondu's special alloy arrows for the transistor. But Yondu has control of it, and it comes back to Yondu, so it doesn't cost him anything. And then these two characters, what are their names? Jeez, I can't, something 27. What the heck are their names? Anyway, they run into a gang, get in a fight. Here's a politician that pretty much sums up politicians everywhere. They get voted for and do nothing is basically what this guy what this inhabitant of the world tells Yondu. And then Vance Astro runs into these, like, I guess they're kind of like a hippie commune. They want to take drugs and get crazy. And he says no. He ends up in jail. I wish I could remember these guys' names off the top of my head, but I'm so unfamiliar with Guardians of the Galaxy's characters that I their names haven't committed to memory yet. But they just basically have this little adventure side quest on this planet that's basically New York 1980, but populated with all these like monster-like characters. I imagine it's just like social, like the writer Steve Gerber doing social commentary on modern times. But while they're down there, they give their buddy up on their ship time to fix their ship. What the heck? So they find out that they get sucked up by this spaceship. The scientist on the spaceship tells them that the planet's basically an asylum. So all the crazy characters that they ran into on the ship are all crazy, which I think is kind of the nudge nudge wink wink social commentary Steve Gerber's throwing in on modern life in New York City. And then they basically get put back on their ship and they take off to continue on their quest to find the cosmic threat that they set out to look for in the first place. Fun issue. This is a fun issue. Good read, especially if you're an old nerd and remember American life in the 1980s, 1970s, I guess, basically. But I was pretty young at the time, but kind of remember some of the things they're alluding to in here. And you see a lot of what they're referring to. If you watch older movies, you can see a lot of the culture and societal tropes that they're referring to when they're making fun of it in this issue. So this is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this. I've never read this before. I picked up all these Marvel Presents Guardians of the Galaxy issues at a yard sale. There was a yard sale in my hometown, and a guy had boxes and boxes of comics, and I dug through and found all these, and he gave me a good deal on them, and I have them now, reading them for the first time, and really enjoying it. Finding I like Steve Gerber, and the Guardians of the Galaxy are pretty neat, even though to me they looked kind of ridiculous at the time that they came out. And in the 90s, when they did the reboot, a lot of these characters were in that 90s reboot, and never really looked that appealing to me then either. But looking back, I'm enjoying it. Anyway, any tidbits of info about Guardians of the Galaxy, please comment with it down below. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe. Stick around for more as I continue reading my Marvel comics in order. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.